Right now on News 3 this morning, Saturday, 36 people are waking up without a place to call home this morning after a massive apartment fire in Beloit. The latest on the Red Cross's efforts to help them out. Plus, it's hard to believe the new school year is just around the corner. What you can do today to help make sure all students have the supplies they need to succeed. And it's a weekend full of music, food, and fun on Madison's east side. The road closures, weather conditions, and entertainment lineup in store for this year's Atwood Fest. Your news starts right now.
This is News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
And a very good Saturday morning to you, and thank you for joining us for News 3 This Morning, Saturday. It is 8 o'clock now on this July 28th. I'm Josh Sprider. We've got meteorologist Hattie McLean in for Chris this morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning and happy Saturday to all of you. Beautiful start.
Beautiful start out there. Really can't complain.
Yes, cannot wait to get the show done and then head on outside because it is going to be a great day today. Let's take a live look from the WISC-TV Skycam. This is looking to the west from the station. You can see really hardly any clouds in the area. We're off to a sunny start this morning and temperatures are already warming rapidly. We did drop to 54 degrees, so we're already up 10 degrees from that right now here in Madison. 61 in Janesville, still in the 50s through the Wisconsin River Valley. Temperatures are going to climb into the upper 70s this afternoon with light winds. Just an isolated shower chance today. Let's take a look at your first alert traffic maps this hour. We'll show you what's happening on the roads. A few slowdowns inbound on Park Street. Otherwise, no major accidents to report right now. You're still going at posted speeds in all the major routes into Madison. And that's your first alert traffic.
What a great start to the Saturday.
It certainly is.
All right, Hattie, thank you. Breaking overnight, a massive fire takes over a Beloit apartment complex. That fire displacing 36 people from an 8-unit building in the 900 block of West Grand Avenue. Officials with the Beloit Fire Department say they got the call just before 10 o'clock last night. 20 to 25 units responded to put them out. 3 hours later, they were able to do so. The good news is no one was hurt. The Red Cross is now helping the 36 people displaced because of that fire. The cause of that fire is still under investigation this morning. Right now, Madison police are searching for a man in his 20s who they believe was involved with a strong-armed robbery. Police say it happened in the 6800 block of Schrader Road around 10:45 last night. That's near the Woodmans. A woman was opening the trunk of her car when police say a man grabbed her and threw her to the ground. They fought over the woman's purse and the man took some things from it. When the woman left to get help, police say the man also tried to steal her car. If you know anything, call police. New this morning, 1 month after a shooting on the city's south side, Madison police have arrested a man they believe was involved. Madison Police's violent crime unit developed enough probable cause to arrest a man on a tentative charge of attempted first-degree intentional homicide. They took 20-year-old Kenneth House Jr. into custody near Vera Court Friday afternoon. We're told House Jr. had a loaded handgun in his pocket when he was arrested. Police believe the suspect shot a 59-year-old man who he knew on the 1200 block of Gilson Street at the end of last month. 8:02 this morning, there was a bit of a scare in downtown Madison Friday night after a fire in a parking ramp. It led to the evacuation of the Orpheum Theater as a precaution. Multiple units responded to the parking ramp on Carroll Street just before 6 o'clock Friday. Around 25 minutes later, crews had put the fire out. Officials say the fire was, quote, smoldering from the wall and both flames and smoke were visible. There were no reports of injuries. This morning, we have new video of the gas explosion that leveled several businesses in Sun Prairie earlier this month. Just take a look at this. Surveillance video looking over the parking lot of Sun Prairie Utilities was released by the city. The explosion happened on the other side of the road, a few buildings down. It shows the moment of the blast, and it actually knocks one person to the ground there on your screen. A short while later, first responders arrive as the fire intensifies. Firefighter and business owner Captain Corey Barr was killed in that blast. Crews have finished their investigation, but the area is still blocked off to the public for safety reasons. The demolition of Glass Nickel Pizza across the street from where the explosion happened has now begun. On the company's Facebook page, the owner wrote, quote, "Thanks for 14 great years, 101 West Main Street. Hard to watch you go. Look forward to your glorious return." Right now, a Madison man is not eligible for parole after a ruling by a Dane County judge. Stephen Pyrus is serving a life sentence after he was convicted of killing his wife and causing an explosion at his home to cover it up. Pyrus has tried to argue that his wife asked him to kill her, but Judge Nicholas McNamara called him a liar when he appeared in court Friday afternoon. Pyrus confessed to loosening a gas line to a dryer in his house. It caused the explosion that leveled their home on Madison's west side. The judge says the public deserves for Pyrus to die in prison.
Nobody should ever think that you could do all that you did, not simply kill your wife, but nearly kill other people, that you should really ever go home.
Pyrus did not speak in court, but his attorney argued that Pyrus and Leanne only were married on paper, so his motive for killing his wife is still in question. The judge says Pyrus does have the option to appeal the decision. Happening now, what type of online fraud targeting dating websites is on the rise? The Sauk County Sheriff says scammers have been targeting sites like Match.com, OkCupid, Plenty of Fish, and other similar sites. Victims commonly report the fraudulent online relationships begin with a general conversation before the scammer escalates the conversation in talking about strong feelings and eventually money transfers, most commonly through Western Union, MoneyGrams, or Green Dot cards. Officials say there is little law enforcement can do about romance scams and emphasize if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. 8:05 right now, a student-led school supply drive in Madison is celebrating its 10th year this weekend. The wagon drive started with a couple of young kids asking their neighbors to donate supplies for classmates in need. Now it's a citywide collection. The high school seniors running the wagon drive want to provide 300 students with backpacks full of supplies this year. And you can help by dropping off supplies as well as toiletries and non-perishable food items from 9 to 2 today at Franklin Elementary School. Some first alert traffic notes for you this weekend. Part of McKee Road has been shut down for construction. The roadway impacted is between Pleasant View Road and Meritor Way. You'll notice this is close to all of the work being done on Highway M. Crews there will be replacing sewers. That closure is expected to last until 6 o'clock Monday morning. Atwood Avenue will be closed in the 3-block stretch from the Barrymore Theater to Tex Tubbs near Winnebago Street. That's, of course, for the annual Atwood Fest starting today. Organizers are asking people to bike to the festival to avoid parking problems in that area. Atwood Fest is a 2-day neighborhood music festival bringing close to 30 local bands to 2 different stages set up along Atwood Avenue. There will be plenty of local food and beers to choose from, plus activities for kids to enjoy, including a bounce house. How about that? Art vendors will also be there selling their work. We have more on the Atwood Fest coming up a little bit later in this newscast in our Weekend 608. 8:07 is your time right now this morning. Festival goers will have picture-perfect weather to enjoy, but are we going to have those umbrellas handy at all this weekend? We're going to take a live look over downtown. There's the Terrace right now. Beautiful start to this Saturday morning. Hattie's in for Chris, and she'll have our full first alert forecast straight ahead. And if festivals aren't your thing, maybe movies are. Will's here with your 3 things to watch this weekend. You're watching News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
Good morning from the Hattie-O patio. Sun is up this morning and temperatures are warming quite quickly. It's a pretty nice morning across southern Wisconsin. You may have seen, though, the moon last night and Mars. Here's a short time lapse from our Edgewater Skycam. You can see the Capitol in the shot and the moon getting a little higher in the sky. A little tough to see, but that bright spot underneath the moon is actually the planet Mars, and it's very bright right now. So if you're interested in seeing the planet, here are all the details. It actually comes closest to Earth and closer than it's been in 15 years on July 31st, so just a couple of days from now, a mere 35.8 million miles away. Now, it is visible in the southern sky, and the best time to view it is a few hours after sunset as it gets a little higher in the sky. Right now, it's the fourth brightest object in the sky, twice as bright as the planet Jupiter. So that means the order of brightness goes Sun, Moon, the planet Venus, and now the planet Mars. And it's going to stay pretty bright in the sky through the month of August. Here's a look from our Edgewater Skycam this morning. Again, we have clear skies in the area and just a beautiful start to the day. Temperatures are warming quickly. Our forecast high is 79, which puts us just a little bit below the normal high for this time of the year, but not bad. Low humidity expected today. Sun sets about 8:23 this evening. Now, we have had a little bit of fog through the Wisconsin River Valley this morning. Visibility has improved quite a bit in Boscobel, but it's still just a quarter of a mile in Lone Rock. Elsewhere, no other fog to report. We're seeing more 60s on the map now across southern Wisconsin. 60 in Prairie du Chien and Platteville, 61 in Janesville, and 60 in Watertown, 64 here in the capital city. I mentioned humidity is going to stay low. Take a look at that dew point trend through the day. Dew points remaining in the 50s, meaning that the humidity shouldn't bother you today. Should feel comfortable for everyone. Satellite and radar trends showing you some clouds and rain activity off to our south and west. Those showers and thunderstorms are going to slide south of Wisconsin today. While our forecast does have a chance for an isolated shower this afternoon, many spots are likely to stay dry. Take a look at future track, turning partly sunny as we head towards the lunch hour today. Then after about 2 or 3 o'clock, a few scattered showers begin to pop up here and there. They'll be very light and short-lived. They'll come to an end as the sun sets. More of the same expected on Sunday, with a few showers and isolated thunderstorms popping up during the afternoon. Here's a look at your extended forecast then. We have temperatures that will be very similar tomorrow, upper 70s, and in fact right into next week. No big heat waves on the map, at least for the next week, Josh.
You know, Hattie, if you could just get this weather to stick around just a little bit longer, I think a lot of people would be happy.
All right, we'll see what I can do.
All right, Hattie, thank you.
You're welcome.
Before the royal gig at Windsor Castle, the Kingdom Choir's largest ever audience was around 200 people. Now the gospel choir, which burst into the spotlight after performing at the wedding of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, has signed a record deal with Sony Music. The group performed Stand By Me at that wedding. The song eventually reached #1 on the Billboard gospel charts. It's been watched on YouTube more than 100 million times. The Kingdom Choir's debut album is expected to be released later this year. This weekend, Taylor Swift is helping ease the pain of a Massachusetts city mourning the recent loss of a police officer. Weymouth Mayor Robert Hedlund says the singer donated a significant number of tickets to the town for her shows this weekend in Foxborough. The tickets were distributed among city police officers. A Weymouth officer was shot and killed while investigating a car crash on July 15th. Hedlund says there were enough tickets to send every police officer, firefighter, and extended family to the concert, and then some. The extras were passed on to some nearby police departments. Hedlund thanked Swift for the gesture on behalf of his town. 8:14 is your time this Saturday morning. From music to movies and video games too. Virtual reality has been popping up in more films in recent years. But if you go back to the 80s, it was even making its presence known then. Our Will Loper has this week's 3 things to watch.
Hey there, Josh. This weekend, check out 3 movies that involve characters traveling to the land of virtual reality.
This is the Oasis. It's a place where the limits of reality are your own imagination.
New on home video this week is Ready Player One.
A contest. 3 impossible challenges. The first to finish gets complete control of the Oasis, which means complete control of the future.
Based on the popular book of the same name, a boy goes on an Easter egg hunt in a virtual gaming world where life and death are at stake in the real world.
You don't tell anyone who you are. You can't use your real name. Hold on to something. This isn't just a game. I'm talking about actual life and death stuff.
What's going on?
Just practicing my Mario Kart. Come on!
Ready Player One is available to rent or buy everywhere now.
My name's Wreck-It Ralph.
I'm gonna wreck it!
30 years I've been doing this.
I can fix it!
It's hard to love your job when no one else seems to like you for doing it.
You're just the bad guy who wrecks the building.
Prepare yourself for the sequel, Rolf Wrecks the Internet, coming out in November, by rewatching the excellent first film, Wreck-It Ralph.
Ralph abandoned his game.
Welcome to Game Central Station.
Bad guy coming.
Everything changes now.
Ralph's gone to hero's duty?
A video game villain just wants to be a hero for once and travels to other arcade games to figure out his place in the virtual world.
You're not from here, are you?
Sugar Rush? You're game jumping? Hey!
Aha! You wouldn't hit a guy with glasses, would you? Aha! You hit a guy with glasses. That's well played.
We're doomed! They're gonna pull our plug!
Wreck-It Ralph is available to rent or buy everywhere now.
Why do I fix everything I touch?
Come on, big fella, let's see what you got.
I'd like to go against you and see what you're made of.
You know, you don't look a thing like your pictures.
I'm warning you. You're entering a big error, Flynn. I'm gonna have to put you on the gaming grid.
Games? You want games? I'll give you games.
And finally, check out one of the first movies to involve traveling to the virtual gaming world with 1982's Tron.
Oh man, this isn't happening. It only thinks it's happening.
Jeff Bridges stars as a computer programmer who gets trapped in a computer and has to find his way out with some of the best graphics ever put to film.
Watch it, watch it.
Tron is available to rent or buy everywhere now.
Did we make it? Yeah. Hooray for our side.
I was once trapped in a video game, but it was a lawn mowing simulator. I've never been so bored in my life. Those are the 3 things you need to watch, and this is Will Loper for News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
And coming soon, you might be able to see the Broadway hit show Hamilton in theaters, but not exactly how you think. Talks are currently underway with Hollywood studios to see who will walk away with big screen rights to the musical, though it's not going to be a new big budget blockbuster. Instead, theaters may show a recorded 2016 performance featuring the original cast. Rights to that recording could sell for more than $50 million. The play has won 11 Tony Awards, a Grammy, and a Pulitzer Prize for drama since it opened in 2015. 8:19 this morning, some of the best swimmers in the area will compete in the final round of the All-City Swim Meet later today. We'll take you there. And a local college professor is hitting the road biking to raise awareness for some continuing problems in Puerto Rico. Why he says solar panels could solve the many issues in the island nation's struggles. Thanks for watching News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
Good morning, I'm meteorologist Hattie McLean. Your first alert weather forecast starts with a view of the polar bear at the Henry Vilas Zoo this morning. Barrett's still doing laps early today. What a great day to spend in the pool. Temperatures are back into the 60s here in Madison. Still some 50s on the map, though, to the west through the Wisconsin River Valley. Otherwise, a nice warm-up already underway. All City Swim wraps up today. If you are involved, it's going to be another beautiful day. Pleasant temperatures, light west winds. Can't rule out an isolated afternoon shower, but most areas are likely to stay dry today. Highs will be in the upper 70s. More of the same in the forecast for tomorrow and even as we start the next work week. Have a wonderful day.
All right, Hattie, thank you. 8:23 is your time right now. A UW-Madison professor is taking a bike ride to raise awareness about the continued struggle to restore power to Puerto Rico after last year's hurricane. Engineering professor Jim Tinjum is working with a group of students to install solar panels at a nonprofit shelter for kids that have been abused. To help pay for those solar panels and raise awareness for the project, Tinjum is leaving this morning for a 1,200-mile bike ride visiting 50 solar energy sites across 4 states. At the beginning of the summer, there were still 11,000 customers without power in Puerto Rico. That was 8 months after Hurricane Maria hit. If you'd like to donate to that project, you can visit the website right there on your screen. Happening now, it is the third and final day of the All-City Swim Meet, which is taking place in Monona this year. It's one of the biggest amateur swim meets in the country. Organizers say they're seeing record levels of swimmer registrations, but it's not all about the competition. Organizers say just as important is the idea of creating community. 6 swimmers have already broken all-city meet records for a meter pool this year, and 8 others broke pool records for Monona. The finals kicked off just a bit ago at 8 this morning. We'll bring you updates on how the athletes finish over on channel3000.com. 8:24 is your time, and there is much more to come here on this Saturday morning. Next, we'll have today's top stories. Plus, it's hard to believe football season is just around the corner, and for Packers fans, this year marks a milestone. Just ahead, we take a look at what's new for the team's 100th season. This is News 3 This Morning, Saturday. Are you ready for some football? Packers fans sure are. With regular season kickoff just a little more than a month away, a look at what's new for the Packers' milestone 100th season.
This is News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
Good morning and welcome back to News 3 This Morning, Saturday. It is just before 8:30 on this July 28th. I'm Josh Breiter. Hattie will join us in a moment with your forecast, but first let's get to today's headlines. Right now, 36 people are waking up without a home this morning after a massive apartment fire at a Beloit complex overnight. The fire started just before 10 at an 8-unit building in the 900 block of West Grand Avenue. 20 to 25 departments responded to put that fire out. It took 3 hours before they were able to do so. The good news, though, no one was hurt. The Red Cross is now helping the 36 people displaced. The cause of that fire is still under investigation this morning. Also happening overnight, Madison police are searching for a man in his 20s who they believe was involved in a strong-armed robbery. Madison police say it happened in the 6800 block of Schrader Road around 10:45 last night. That's near the Woodmans there. A woman was opening the trunk of her car when police say a man grabbed her and threw her to the ground. We're told they fought over the woman's purse and the man took some things from it. When the woman left to get help, police say the man also tried to steal her car. If you know anything, call police. A student-led school supply drive here in Madison is celebrating its 10th year this weekend. The wagon drive started with a couple of young kids asking their neighbors to donate supplies for classmates in need. Now it's a city-wide collection. The high school seniors running the wagon drive want to provide 300 students with backpacks full of supplies this year. If you want to help out, you can drop off supplies as well as toiletries and non-perishable food items from 9 to 2 today at Franklin Elementary School. Some first alert traffic notes for you now. Part of McKee Road has been shut down for construction. The roadway impacted is between Pleasant View Road and Meritor Way. You'll notice this is close to all of the work being done on Highway M. Crews will be replacing sewers there. That closure is expected to last until 6 o'clock Monday morning. Atwood Avenue will be closed in the 3-block stretch from the Barrymore Theater to Tex Tubbs near Winnebago Street. That's for the annual Atwood Fest starting today. Organizers are asking people to bike to the festival to avoid parking problems around that area. And now here's Hattie with your first alert forecast. Good morning, Hads.
Good morning, Josh. Yeah, not a bad day to get out on the bike today. We have sunny skies this morning. Here's a view from our Queen Bee Radio Skycam in Platteville. Blue sky, even in our western viewing area this morning. So a great start to this Saturday. Satellite and radar maps around the state, not showing a whole lot for the Badger State. There are some clouds and even some rain further off to the west, just off the map this morning. They'll move around the area today. Here's a look at our current conditions. Now climbing into the 60s here in southern Wisconsin. Milwaukee's back to 67 degrees. Boscobel, though, still at 58. Through the Northwoods, temperatures are generally in the 50s at this hour. A nice warm-up, though, for the entire state. Here in Madison, we'll top at 79 degrees this afternoon, probably right around 4 p.m. Now, through the afternoon hours into the early evening time frame, there's an isolated chance for a shower. Your first alert traffic update this morning will show you what's happening on the roads, and things are still pretty quiet. We're not seeing any major delays on the Beltline or in any of the major streets downtown. Your drive times into Madison, looks like you're still going at posted speeds. And that's your first alert traffic.
All right, Hattie, thank you. The Green Bay Packers are celebrating their 100th season this year with the start of the regular season a little more than a month away. Fans are already getting excited for the return of football. Chris Schuler shows us the new exciting and different things fans can expect in this milestone season.
Outside of Lambeau Field, work is underway to create an experience for fans like they've never seen before. The Packers Experience, a festival of activities similar to the NFL experience held during the Super Bowl.
There you go. This is really what you see at the Super Bowl or at the draft. Skills challenge, there's a lot of photo opportunities. We'll have locker room. We have a theater that is showing part of our documentary.
A piece of Packers training camp that Gene and Suzette Goff drove over 1,000 miles from Pennsylvania to be part of.
This has been his dream. All his life, he's wanted to come to Green Bay. He wanted to see the stadium. He wanted to see the training camp. He wanted all that.
Go, Pack, go! Go, Pack, go! Come Thursday, the team's 2018 training camp gets underway, and some 100,000 football fans are expected to pay a visit during camp, and businesses like Hinterland are ready to welcome them in.
The Titletown Plaza right here, the park and everything, it's a great attraction for families and all kinds of people coming through on a daily basis.
This Packers training camp, there are going to be 14 public practices to be held here at Rainichke Field. But if you want a seat, you better get here early.
You get all the excitement because you find out who all the new players are going to be, so you want to see them in action.
And while training camp continues for 4 weeks, the Packers experience lasts just 4 days, starting Thursday. A free fan festival in the Lambeau Field parking lot that the Packers hope you'll visit.
It's like kicking off that 100 seasons, and that's really what we're trying to do this in a big way. I mean, we're the first NFL team that's turning 100, so we want to just do it the right way.
Reporting in Green Bay, Chris Schuler for WISC News 3.
The Packers will take on the Chicago Bears for their first regular season game September 9th at Lambeau. 8:34 this Saturday morning. The weekend is a perfect time to check out a new restaurant or head to one of your favorites. But how can you make sure the food you're being served is not only tasty but safe to eat? The popular restaurant review site working to make your health and safety a top priority. The news is back in the morning on News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
Good morning, I'm meteorologist Patty McLean. Your first alert weather forecast taking us view from the Edgewater Skycam this morning. Beautiful start to the day. We have clear skies and pretty calm conditions early this morning. Here's a look at current temperatures across the area. Still 64 in Madison, 63 in Mineral Point, 63 now in Platteville, as well as the Dells. Temperatures are expected to warm pretty quickly over the next couple of hours. By lunchtime, we're about 10 degrees warmer than we are right now, 74 degrees, 79 for the high today. A few isolated showers will be possible this afternoon. And if you're looking ahead to Sunday already, more of the same. Chances for rain during the afternoon. Otherwise, partly sunny skies, high of 78 degrees. Have a wonderful day.
All right, Hattie, thank you. 8:38 this Saturday morning. Right now, the American Red Cross is offering an incentive to anyone willing to donate blood this summer. Despite thousands of people going in to give blood, the organization is still in emergency need of all blood types. The Red Cross says donation levels traditionally tend to drop during the summer months. Anyone who donates from now through the end of August will receive a $5 Amazon gift card. Health inspection reports aren't a secret, but finding them can be a hassle. The popular review site Yelp wants to make that information part of your restaurant selection routine. Kiet Du shows us how.
Yelp has been quietly working on this new feature in Marin and San Francisco for the past 5 years. They're ready to launch it nationwide, and it's called Health Scores, and you can find it right here. To hear Yelp describe it, there's a buffet of valuable restaurant inspection data out there, and the San Francisco-based company is helping users to digest it all.
Now, some restaurants weren't thrilled with it. If you have a good record, you probably wouldn't mind the extra transparency, but if you don't, you can understand you might not.
Yelp works with a third-party vendor to process data feeds directly from city and county agencies themselves. When the agencies don't provide a feed, robots fan out online to scrape the data off government websites and compile it together. The result on the mobile app is a condensed report, often with just scores and dates. But the desktop site has more info, like the details about the violations. Yelp says when customers see a low score, they don't call the restaurant, they don't click to get directions, and they certainly do not look at the menu.
We do see that consumers use it. They patronize businesses with bad health scores less.
I think it's a good thing. Just want to make sure that get updated information.
Rochelle Gaddy with Santa Clara County welcomes the effort from Yelp. However, for now, Santa Clara County's own app called SCC Dine Out not only has the most current and up-to-date scores, it also has the actual reports with all the nitty-gritty details. This one talked about cockroaches of all life cycles found inside the restaurant. But there can be discrepancies with the Yelp health scores. For example, at Emperor of India in South San Jose, Yelp has old data from January saying they have a score of 72. But a check of the county website shows the score dropped down to 52, and then more problems force them to shut down for a few days, and currently there is no score.
So I'm not sure how often they scrape that data and how current the data is. So we advise the public for the most current information to go to our website.
Yelp says it takes about 2 weeks to scrape the data off government sites.
If a city wants to have its health scores posted even more timely, they can establish a relationship directly with Yelp and send us a feed of that information.
Yelp says by the end of the year, health scores will roll out to 42 states and cover 750,000 restaurants.
When consumers have access to health score data like this, two things happen. Restaurants get cleaner and less consumers get sick.
In San Jose, Kit Do, KPIX5.
We're told Kiet tried to get a comment from Emperor of India about their health rating, but the owner wasn't available. 8:41 right now. Are you looking for something to do this weekend? Well, we have several ideas for you. From a Broadway show bringing award-winning catchy tunes to the overture to an amateur production put on in just one day. The shows, festivals, and fun you need to know about. Your Weekend 608 is next on News 3 This Morning Saturday. But first, happy birthday to Elena, Emerson, Sophia, Tate, and all of the other kiddos turning 3 years old today. We're back right after this.
Good morning, I'm meteorologist Hattie McLean. Our first alert weather forecast today starts with clear skies across the area. In fact, here's the satellite and radar map. It is working this morning. There's just nothing showing up on the map. So we'll zoom it out all the way so you can see the entire U.S. There is a cluster of storms to our south and west through parts of Nebraska, moving into Missouri today. Better news, though, out east. Those storms have moved offshore, so a chance to dry out for some of those waterlogged areas from New England all the way down to Washington, D.C. No rain in the forecast, though, for the west, unfortunately, for the firefighters in Southern California. Those forecasts look dry once again today. The severe weather outlook across the country today is focusing in on the central part of the country, eastern parts of Colorado, parts of Nebraska and Kansas. There's a slight risk for severe weather today. And here's a look at our travel forecast as well. Again, through the midsection of the country, some showers and thunderstorms definitely in the forecast. It is warm, though, across the southern tier of the United States, all the way from Phoenix to Florida today. Phoenix is looking at triple-digit heat, 107, although that's a little bit cooler than earlier this week. They topped at 116 twice already this week. Here's a look, though, at what's happening along the East Coast. Sunshine in Washington, D.C. and New York with temperatures in the 80s. Much more comfortable here, though, through the Great Lakes region. We're not dealing with any high humidity today. We have blue skies right now. Things are very quiet as we look from the Edgewater Skycam out over Lake Mendota. We're starting at temperatures in the 60s, 64 here in Madison, 63 in the Dells, still 57 in Lone Rock, 67 though in Monroe. A nice warm-up is expected today. What's not going to climb is the dew point. That stays in the mid-50s through the day, which means you're not going to notice the humidity. It'll be very comfortable today, even with warmer temperatures. Here's a look at our future track forecast model. If you're trying to plan out your activities, by lunchtime, just a few clouds developing. These will be the fair weather cumulus clouds that pop up in the atmosphere. As we head towards the afternoon, the later parts of the afternoon, there may be a few showers popping up here and there. Those showers, though, will likely remain rather light. No thunder is expected. Here's a look at the rain totals. Again, it's going to be very hit and miss with some of those showers through the day today, barely measurable for southern Wisconsin. Our extended forecast has temperatures that stay very comfortable in the upper 70s for the next several days. Even, in fact, heading into next week, it doesn't get real warm around here until the upcoming weekend, I should say the next weekend, where temps get back into the mid-80s. Here's our Pet Walk forecast. Look at this little guy, Henry.
What
and
is that?
A sugar glider is my best guess. Either way, pretty cute.
Oh, Henry. There we go. All right. Well, hey, good forecast there.
Yeah, for Henry and everybody.
There you go. And hey, you know, you were showing that beautiful sky. We've got a picture to show you right here too. Lynn Owens posted this on Facebook. Check out that sunrise. I feel like we've had some fantastic pics shared with us lately.
We have, and it looks like the sky's on fire there.
Oh my
Pretty
gosh,
nice.
Beautiful there. So thank you for sharing, Lynn. What does your morning look like? Be sure to take a picture and post it to the Channel 3000 Facebook page, or you can find us on Twitter or Instagram. Be sure to use the hashtag MyNews3Morning. And as always, we share our favorites right here on News 3 This Morning. What is the weekend in the 608? And here's a look at what's going on around town. A much-loved neighborhood festival returns today and tomorrow. Atwood Fest closes Atwood Avenue to all cars, but opens it up to people looking for some good music and food. Favorite local bands will play on stages set up on both ends of the street, as well as on a kids' stage. Turn out for Kelsey Miles Band, Amphibians, VO5, and more later today. Plus Steely Dan, Natty Nation, and others on Sunday. Dozens of food carts and craft vendors will also be on hand all weekend long. Head to atwoodfest.com for the full lineup of the bands and vendors. Now to local theater productions, starting with the one for adults specifically. Adult fans of Shakespeare and adult beverages. Tonight at the Capitol Brewery Beer Garden in Middleton, the Madison Shakespeare Company will put on the first performance of its second installment of Sloshed Shakespeare. This time the actors will perform Antony and Cleopatra, and they will be drinking throughout that production, getting increasingly tipsy. If last year's Macbeth was any indication, all that drinking will cause actors to flub and drop lines, providing some extra comedy. Sloshed Shakespeare, Antony and Cleopatra, will be put on also 3 times next month at the Brink Lounge and High Noon Saloon. There's also a more family-friendly theater option this weekend. The ambitious 24-hour musical is put together by a young troupe of teen and college-age actors in exactly as much time as it sounds, just 24 hours. The young actors will work with the aptly named Madtown Show in a Day to put on the production. The cast and crew was just revealed last night. There's only one opportunity to see them in action, and that's tonight at Lakeview Lutheran Church. And speaking of musicals, there's another Broadway show in town. The musical Waitress is playing this weekend at the Overture Center through tomorrow night. It's based on the 2007 movie of the same name. It's about a waitress in a small town who channels her unhappiness in her marriage into a pre-baking contest. The big draw to the show are the songs written by Grammy-nominated pop musician Sarah Bareilles. Does Love Song ring a bell? Waitress has already gotten a lot of positive reviews. You can head to overture.org for tickets. As always, pick up a copy of this month's Madison magazine for all of the best in the Madison area. 8:51 this morning. Tonight at 6 and 10 on News 3, we'll have the latest on the apartment fire in Beloit that left 3 dozen people without a home, how the Red Cross is stepping in, and what's next for those impacted. But first, it's a wacky, weird, and wild new trend popping up at state fairs and festivals nationwide. We'll take you to a wife-carrying championship. That's right, when News 3 this morning, Saturday, continues. Welcome back at 8:54. Across the country, husbands and wives are teaming up in a new way, competing together in a wife-carrying championship. If you're wondering what exactly that means, Brooke Leonard went to find out.
A sport that originated in Finland has made its way across the United States, all the way to Bozeman, Montana. The first ever Rocky Mountain Wife Carrying Championship. First things first, you have to have a partner.
I'm a dentist at Rethink Dentistry. This is my assistant. The rule said you didn't need your wife. She actually signed this up.
While it doesn't have to be your wife, you still have to make sure you can carry them. It's a 5-point penalty for a drop. Next is the obstacle course. In order to meet the North American Championship standards, it must have 1 wet obstacle and 2 dry. In today's case, a mud pit, median wall, and a dirt ramp. Adam and Sonny Bacon came to the fair after church, and after some convincing, their friends signed them up for the race. 15 minutes before it began.
Yeah, someone Googled how to get over the hurdles, how to carry, and so then we went hiding behind the bleachers and just ran a pace or 2 back and forth, and yeah, I didn't break you.
Thank you.
I didn't break you.
They set the record for fastest time at 60 seconds and took home the grand prize, Sonny's weight in beer.
I've never felt so close to you right now, and thankfully I did not break you, so that's good.
And another sign wife carrying competitions are growing more and more popular. Teams can actually qualify for the North American Championships in Maine this October.
Plenty of time to train.
Plenty of time to train. I'm sure Maine is just gorgeous.
I'm sure that time of year, yes, exactly. Well, let's talk about the weather here in Madison for the end of July. Maybe not feeling too much like the end of July today. We have beautiful sunshine, low humidity though, and relatively cool conditions. Normally we'd at least be in the 80s today. Our temperatures, though, are climbing. We're up now to 67 here in Madison, 63 in Platteville and the Dells. If you are headed to the Dells today, it's going to be a beautiful day there. Just an isolated shower chance this afternoon. No thunder expected. High temperatures will be in the upper 70s. Upper 70s then again on Sunday with a chance for some showers during the afternoon. Otherwise, as we head into next week, those slight chances for rain continue right into Wednesday and Thursday.
Not too shabby.
Not at all.
All right, Hattie, thank you. And thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning from 6:30 to 8.
Making plans that are weather dependent? Get an accurate 12-hour, even a 10-day forecast. Download the Channel 3000 First Alert Weather app and start planning.